I rewatched.
Something light-hearted and fun.
Do you know what? To me, it is
Yeah.
because it's life affirming. I went to rewatch Train Dreams. They played it in the cinema, so I finally got a chance to watch it in the cinema, and I didn't think I was going to get a chance because I thought the time of the showing was going to coincide with a hockey game, which, funnily enough, a whole point of this film is a lot to do with family and stuff. So I chose my family on that in that aspect and was like, I'm not going to go and see this film. I'd rather sit with my other half and enjoy time together, which is a large part of this film about him not wanting to go to work and he wants to spend time with his wife and his child and all this kind of stuff. And it turned out there was another showing whilst my other half was working, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go see that. And there was only four people in a small cinema. It was wonderful.
I'm
Um,
gutted. I would have loved to have seen it on the big screen, but just
it-
with work and other stuff, the timings just never worked out for me,
yeah,
unfortunately.
it was a good screen as well because it was one of the smallest screens in the cinema because obviously it was a midday showing through
Yeah.
the week or whatever. Um, it was a small screen in the cinema. Like I say, four people, nobody eating or drinking, everybody just sitting watching the movie. And I bawled my eyes out, bawled my eyes out of Train Dreams. Like I love it. I absolutely love this film. It's so life affirming. It's so wonderful. And I summed it up with my other review of it. I took the line from the film because I was crying my heart out of this bit, but not in like a state of sadness. It was beautiful, which was beautiful, ain't it? Just beautiful. What is Arn? All of it, every bit of it. And I just thought, oh my God, like they're just talking about life. They're talking about everything around them and everything that is important that they can see. Like they're sitting in the middle of a wooded area listening to rain and birds and seeing the sun and they're just he's just thinking it's beautiful and that's a heart-wrenching moment as well where somebody's dying, and he's just looking at the last moments around him and saying it's beautiful, isn't it? And just letting the main character know it's
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I can't watch this film now and not just. It's one of those where it comes to the end and I just feel like everything's worth it. It just all feels worth it. And how beautiful, how amazing is that a piece of film can do that? That can make your own life seem more worth it for having watched it. Like it's unreal.
Which
Um,
is weird because a big part of the film is like them building that bridge.
yeah,
But by the end of the film, that bridge is redundant.
yes, yeah, yeah.
But
But
all those people who died to build that bridge, cutting down the trees
yeah,
for the logs for it and everything. Um, I I'm with you with this film. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I could watch it with the sound off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just beautiful. At first, I will freely admit, first time I watched it, when they grab that guy and just throw him off the bridge,
Yep.
I was like, this film may not be for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's quite a heavy bit at the start
Yeah.
to throw in because
And,
it's very early on.
it stays heavy throughout, but I think it finds its tone,
Yes. Yeah.
like with the guy from Parks and Rec,
Yeah. Hmm.
um, Brandanowitz.
There's subtle things like
He's,
that.
he's in it briefly, and it's semi-comedic, but
Yeah.
also deeply tragic at the same time.
Hmm.
And and then the old guy on the job, and like the whole stuff with his family, and then post what happens with his family, and
It's
then him just walking around the city at the end.
seeing how much everything's changed,
Yeah,
how much everything's moving on. But I
and
think,
he's still in his little cabin.
yeah, but I think that's a large part of it as well. That this is going to sound so pretentious, and I'm sorry about it, but I think it's that us and ourselves are in our own little cabins
Yeah. Oh,
and
you
everything.
pretentious wanker.
But it's what it's like, people live in their own little cabins. They live in their own little spaces within themselves, not necessarily in their homes or anything like that. Because this extends to everyone, those that are housed or unhoused or whatever. We all live in our own little cabins in
Yeah.
in ourselves. and the world keeps changing. It keeps turning. Everything keeps going. But it's how you react to these things that dictate whether they are going to be good or bad, whether you feel happiness or not. That's actually a line from a John Porcellino comic where he talks about it's not that things are good or bad, it's how I react to them
Yeah.
that make them good or bad. If I can see, he's like, if I can see these things and react to them, I could be happy. I could acknowledge them and I could be truly happy. And I feel like that's what this film is kind of like the distilled um feeling of is the whole thing of like how he reacts to everything. He apologizes for breaking down in tears at one point,
Mm.
and then even that gets distilled into this tiny little thing of like, but how do I then react to my grief and stuff like that? It's just, oh,
That's it.
it's a wonderful thing to watch a story about somebody else's life and be able to attach a life that has no relative um, relation to yours whatsoever, but still be able to take so much away from it and be able to relate to aspects of it. Um, it's just it it encapsulates a lot in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
It's done so beautifully. It's not loud and bombastic. A lot of it's very quiet, and just meandering. The fact that there is a narration throughout the whole thing, which is a very soft, um, almost southern Canadian accent in it.
Such a perfect narration as well.
Yeah,
Is it Will Patton? Is the narrator?
I think so. Oh,
I'll double check it while you keep talking.
yeah. Um, but it's that soft voice that's kind of lulling you throughout it as well. Um, but you've also got um, Edgerton's character isn't a big bombastic guy. He doesn't shout. He doesn't scream. He just kind of talks you through it. He's very calm. He's very measured. Even in moments when it's high drama, he still looks very much in control. And oh man, him and Felicity Jones, the chemistry was off the absolutely out the wazoo. We spoke about this before. We spoke about this in the end of year review as well.
Yeah.
So once again, go back to that and listen to that if you want to hear a bit more on it. But honestly, I mean, Train Dreams, I really hope they release it on DVD. I would love to have it.
If ever
But
there's a film crying out for a Criterion collection, yeah,
oh,
it's Will Patton.
yeah, 100% is crying out for that. But I also would love to see a photography book of it.
Yeah.
I would love to see the principal photographer. I would love to see his shots in a book. I would love to see them because they must have went out and photographed some of the best bits of Canada that there
Yeah.
was. Some of the most beautiful fire towers and sort of wilderness areas and old beaten up paths and bridges and cities and everything. You know what I mean? Like I would just love to see that in a book. But I sat listening to the soundtrack after I came out of it as well because I wasn't ready to get out of the headspace of
Yeah.
it. And funnily enough, I was in bits. I was absolutely in bits. And it was funny because I was thinking the whole time when I was going to go see it, is this film going to be as affecting as it was the first time that I saw it? And it was it was twice as bad. I was smiling throughout it, but I was weeping in sheer joy, but also just like acknowledgement of what I've done in my own life and whatnot as well, and the people I've met and everything. And I was just thinking of all of this, and there's a sort of similar thing of that happening on the screen, and it's evoking all these emotions inside of me. I was, snotters. It was ridiculous, but really loving it. At the end, the lights came up, the credits went on, the lights came up, and like I said, there was only four people, including myself, in that screen. Nobody moved. Not a single person moved. Nobody even grabbed for their coat. It was so surreal. I was sitting going, is anybody going to go anywhere? And then I just heard from the very, very back and I thought, it's affected everyone in this room the same way. Nobody would move. Everybody was just waiting to compose themselves. I was like, this
Nah, there
is
was one guy waiting for Samuel L. Jackson to turn up and say, "I'm here to talk to you about the Train Dreams initiative."
Post credit. Somebody just stumbling across the cabin and being like, "We're definitely gonna need a bigger sledgehammer." But no, it was just I don't know, man. It was just so strange to be in a room with three other like-minded people, clearly, because they
Yeah.
were all so affected they just didn't want to go anywhere. There was one guy that I could see, and two people I couldn't because I daren't look behind me because I was a total mess. But the one guy that I could see ahead of me, he just sat stiff. He didn't move at all. He didn't wipe his eyes like nothing. And I just thought he's been stunned by it. He was awake, by the way. Just thought I'd
Yeah.
put it out there as well. He was awake, um, but he was just stunned. Didn't move. And I was the first person to get up. I had someplace to be anyway, but I was the first person to get up and just kind of walked out, like wiping my eyes or whatever. None of them moved.
Wiped your eyes, turned around and went, "You bunch of crybaby
Yeah,
sissies."
exactly.
I
Never in my
guarantee
life.
those most of those people probably would have seen the film already as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
just like you wanted to experience it on the big screen.
Yep.
I It is a mess. I mean, Train Dreams is the perfect title because it is like one of those weird linear dreams that doesn't quite feel like it should be linear, but
Yeah.
is. Um, Joel Edgerton again, Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart, like got his big break in two Star Wars prequels,
Yep.
and has just gone on to do interesting stuff from
He
Kinky
has.
Boots to Loving to
I mean,
this.
hell, he's done loads of stuff. He's in
Yeah,
blockbuster stuff. He's in horror movies. You know what I mean? Like everything. He's a very, very interesting actor. And the promo for this, the promo tour for this was tremendous as well.
yeah.
Him reading out emails of people that have seen the film and what it meant to them and stuff, and him reading profound ones and almost breaking down himself. I'm like,
I'm getting a
unbelievable.
bit emotional just remembering the film.
Yeah,
It's one of those movies. I don't even need to watch it necessarily to start tearing up.
it's beautiful. It's also the added thing of that there is a deep-seated thing with a lot of people as well that the seeing the quiet stoic man get emotional kind of sets you off a little bit. Like it always
Yeah.
is. It doesn't matter who you are. That aspect of some like your granddad or your dad or whatever, the sort of stoic man just suddenly having a sort of a really soft interior with a rough exterior, and it being sort of visible and on show, this sort of softness, it really just does something to you. I don't know what it is. And Edgerton kind of, I think
That's it.
he
Because
very much encapsulates that. I've used encapsulate a lot, but it is very relative to this film.
it's interesting because it's a rough exterior because of the job, not the man.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like a Clint Eastwood, Jack Reacher style rough exterior.
No, but
It's no, I'm saying
he
this is a good thing.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
but he's stoic. He's a man who just wants to be with his family,
Yes, very much
who,
so.
doesn't get attached to a lot of people, just quietly wants to get a bit like me, just quietly wants to get on with his fucking life so he can get back to the shit he wants to be doing.
Yeah.
And
I think the narrator even says that at one point,
yeah,
though. Just as he was getting settled and thinking he could be at home, he has to leave again, and it's like,
and I think a
oh,
lot of us can relate to. I just want to be at home with my kids and my
yeah.
dog or my wife, whatever.
You just want to live. You
Work's
don't
the
want to have to
shit
work.
you have to do
Yeah.
to be able to do the shit you want to do,
Yeah.
and it's just yeah, it perfectly encapsulates. It almost perfectly encapsulates the mundanity of working.
Yes.
But and I get that it's going to be a film that is not going to play for everybody. I think those people are wrong, but I get that it's not going to be a film. I can see some people watching me like, well, that was fucking boring shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't
And I
I,
can, I respect your opinion, but you are mistaken.
I don't think I could. It sounds terrible, but I don't think I could speak to somebody that had like a poor opinion of it to the point of just like, it was boring shite. I'd just be like, we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
We have nothing to talk about, and I don't. I'm sorry, but that's
you
not
pick
me.
that man up and you throw him off a bridge.
Yeah, exactly. I go and gather up a few friends. We throw them off a bridge. No, but I don't even mean that in like a really like a snooty way. Like, oh, I could not fathom
No,
anybody
because it's
not
not a
like it.
cinema snob film either.
No, no, and it's not that either. It's not me being snobbish about it. It is just the thing of like we are not on any way the same wavelength at all.
Yeah,
If you think, nah, you know what I mean. And although I'm saying that, you know, I think something that the film kind of teaches you as well is to be accepting of those of differing opinions. He's pretty a pretty accepting gentleman. It doesn't come up a lot, but you know the people that he works with and stuff, and the people who just kind of want to be left alone, or the people that think or say certain things, he just very much nods along and goes along with it because he's thinking to himself, well, I mean, there's still a person at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like he's still a man like anybody else. Like the Parks and Rec guy, I can never remember his actual name. Um,
no, I can't. He's always
yeah,
Brandanowitz.
but even him, he's telling all these stories and he's working with Edgerton's. Oh my God, what's his name again? Robert. He's working with Edgerton's Robert Granger, and Granger's just sitting there like taking everything in. He doesn't reply to him, nothing. And this guy's just saying all this stuff about God and blah 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 blah, and it's because of this and blah blah. And he's just sitting, okay, you know. And I'm sitting like, this is really a lesson in acceptance as well, and that even though somebody's spouting all this stuff off and everything, it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. It just means you need to be maybe a bit more tolerant of it. And that
Yeah,
whole thing as well of him like with the chucking the guy off and he's saying like, "What's he done? What's he done?" You know what I mean? Like there could have been something happened there. There wasn't, but there could have been something that happened there. All he wants to know is what's he done? I don't just leave him alone. You know what I mean? It's So even then, I'm saying I couldn't speak to somebody who could. Maybe I could just hear them out and just go, okay,
and then
you
chuck
know,
him off a bridge.
and then run through them with a fucking railgun. No, I actually want to read the description off of Letterboxd. I wasn't gonna,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna read it. It's short and sweet. A logger leads a life of quiet grace as he experiences love and loss during an era of monumental change in early 20th century. It says America on here. It's not America. It's Canada. They're in Ontario.
yeah, I think you're right. I
It's
think we did
Wash.
this on the
I can't remember, but they're in
end of year one as well. But
They're in Washington, Ontario, not Washington D.C. So that's strange. Because they say Canada in it like a few times. That's odd. Anyway, hey ho. Well, I wanted to read it till it got to that bit where it said America, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's
I
sake.
mean, it's a buy it for me. It's a buy it in the most prestige format they release it in,
Yep, I
with
will
a
have it.
picture book.
I'll have it in a bespoke VHS for 50 quid any day. But yeah, no, I can't wait for this to come out. I hope it does soon. That and Klaus are
It's
like
got to. It'd be the saddest thing if that just became something
streaming.
you accidentally stumble across on Netflix one day.
I'm going to be really upset if we're like 5 years from now and I'm still turning to you being like Klaus and Train Dreams are still just on Netflix. Like what? How is that possible? I mean, or Netflix has gone under. There's been some weird crash, and it's went under, and now they're not available. I'm like, oh no, come
It's
on
like I
now.
said to you at the time, I think at the end of year podcast, it'd be like that George Clooney film, The Tender Bar, or Ben Affleck's Air. Two great films, but because they're on Amazon Prime, you just forget they're there.
Yeah, yeah,
There's something about seeing it on your shelf or trying to remember whether you actually bought it or not and then going through your shelf trying to find it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it would be the biggest disappointment, I think, if it doesn't get a physical media release.
Oh man, the thought of that makes me sad.
We might have to start adding the Criterion collection.
Yeah.